Joining me now to discuss Dr. Abdul El-Sayed. He is running for the Democratic nomination for the U.S. Senate in Michigan. Thank you so much for being here. We had one of your opponents on last week, so I'm glad you could come in. First, can we talk about the S word, as Carville describes it?
You know, it's funny because isn't he the guy who said it's the economy stupid? I think that's the S word we should be talking about. It is the economy. If you go to Michigan, if you go to New York, if you go anywhere in the country, people are frustrated because they can't afford the basic means of a dignified life. The fact that the Democrats have not delivered on those issues, the fact that people feel like both sides of our politics are not listening, that's why you're seeing a lot of these candidates who are speaking differently about that economy winning.
Isn't his argument that it's not the economy part he disagrees with, it's everything else? It's the things we spoke about earlier, policy about Israel and how whether or not to support that government in its operations. Maybe it's around billionaire taxes. They have substantive questions and concerns about the democratic socialist position.
I think one of the frustrations, and look, the real red scare we should be talking about is that Donald Trump is still president. Donald Trump is still doing things like taking us to wars we shouldn't be fighting. But I do want to step back, and we do this thing of dissecting our politics as if all the things are not related, that you can talk about foreign policy, but you don't have to relate that to economy. Every dollar we send abroad to drop a bomb on another kid is a dollar we don't spend here to invest in your kid's school or your health care. The reason that our economy is rigged so that we have a trillionaire and the average person can't afford their basic life is because we have an economy where we've allowed big corporations to buy and sell politicians to rig the system against us.
So you're ready to talk economy without being accused of being a communist, or you're basically like, those labels don't matter anymore?
Well, number one, I think people look askance when folks from DC call other people communists, because we've heard that play run I don't know how many times. But the second point about that is, I just think it's important that we don't center parties in our politics. We center the people who vote for parties and vote in our politics. And I think the problem is that we're having this debate about where the party is going, but we're not actually talking about where people's lives are going. And the politicians, the politics, that speaks to the lived experience of the average person, that actually talks about how do we put money back in your pocket? How do we break the vice grip that corporations have on our politics? How do we make sure that you get health care? That's the kind of politics that's going to win. So if you don't like where the party is going, then run an alternative that's actually going to address people's issues. But so long as you're having this nagging debate about where the party is going from your comfortable home and wherever it is, I just think you're missing the point, because too many people are uncomfortable in their homes or don't have a home in the first place.
So your opponent, Mallory McMorrow, was on our show last week, as I mentioned. She was criticizing your decision to embrace the support of streamer Hasan Piker to represent your campaign. And what she said was very specific, that she goes, look, I have a problem with him embracing this person in the wake of an attack on a synagogue. This is when a truck was driven into the synagogue. I want to play for you what she said after that.
I condemn the Temple Israel attack immediately. Any act of anti-Semitism is wrong and has no place in our politics, no place in our society. But I think what people find frustrating by that perspective is that when you talk about the mass killing of children, we saw that done by our tax dollars in a genocide in Gaza. And it took, 2 years to talk about that. And I think we have to take seriously the idea that the money that we spent to kill other people's kids there was money that we did not spend to take care of the kids that I was taking care of in Wayne County and Detroit.
So no answer about this embrace of him. Do you think people are making too much or too little about this?
Look, it's a pretty crazy thing. So Hasan Piker was invited to stream from the DNC in 2024. We had a whole debate about whether or not the vice president should have gone on Rogan. The idea that we're going to tie people together and say, well, guilt by association, so, is just not in keeping with the way most of us think about the world. I'm sitting on a panel with a very diverse group of people. Did I vet all of you before I came and sat here because one of you might have said something I disagree with? I just think it's a ridiculous way to
Though
think
you're
about
running
politics.
for office, which is why you're in the hot seat.
Well, I'm happy to be in the hot seat, but let me just
But
speak to
this
that.
is why you're being vetted. I want to raise something. You use the word genocide.
I do.
This is the kind of thing that people point to over and over again as a problem for a party that is trying to zip up its big tent. The Detroit Free Press editorial board just endorsed Mallory McMorrow and said that you are running a divisive campaign, casting your opponents as morally compromised.
I think if you've taken money from the people who caused the problems in your life and then come and tell people, hey, we're going to solve your problems, that's just inconsistent with being serious about solving problems. Now, if that's divisive, I think we need to have hard conversations in our party. I think we need to be talking about who's actually there to solve problems for you. If you're not serious about not taking money from the utility company as people's rates are going up, if you're not serious about not taking money from the health insurance corporations who just raised your premiums 15% and putting millions of people in bankruptcy, I'm so sorry. I don't think you're serious about solving the problems. If that makes me divisive, that's fine. But look, the American public is going to get to pick. The Michiganders are going to get to pick. And whether we're talking about the parties writ large or we're talking about our Michigan race, it's on people to get to decide. And this is just what I'm saying. This is not a conversation about parties. So long as we are missing the conversation about everyday people and why they are struggling in their lives, we are missing the point of democratic politics in the first place.
In Michigan, it's a really unique place because of the auto industry and because of an influx of immigrants. Lots of Latinos from South Texas, a lot of folks from lots of parts of the country have come in there. As the last working class consultant who never went to college, who worked for the Steelworkers Union, who have watched my brothers and sisters who grew up there like I did with a single mom trying to figure it out. None of them talk to me every day about the issues that are debated on TV like y'all just finished doing. They're talking to me about things costing too much and not making enough money. Most folks haven't seen real wage gains.
Wait, Chuck, is this
years.
a question?
Yes. What are you seeing out there between you and the other candidates and what those people are saying? That's all I care about.
Chuck, thank you for saying that. I'm honored to have earned the UAW endorsement. And look, my dad came to America to build cars. But you talk to auto workers out in Michigan, Macomb County, and Detroit, and they'll tell you, look, my life has gotten harder to afford every single year for the past 10 years. Doesn't matter who's president. Every year I struggle, and they keep telling me that I'm not going to be able to get further, and I'm watching Elon Musk become a trillionaire.
Do you feel like you would enter a Congress and be able to work in a bipartisan way, given how you've spoken about these folks? Not just in the party, but across?
I'll work with anyone who wants to work with me to get things done. But I also tell you this, I'm not going to pretend like not calling out the problems that I see is going to make things better.
Yeah.
The real conversation is not between me and 99 other senators when I get there. It's between me and the 350 million people. It's between all of us and the 350 million people who elect all of us. And that's the mistake that I think both parties are making. We're not having a conversation with the actual public. We're out here debating these issues, and we're watching as this discussion is getting further and further away from the lived experience of everyday people.
One issue I care about a lot on this show is AI and its effect on the economy to come. You have talked about public takeover, if I have that right, or privatization.
Was not the word, if you
oh,
want to use that
what word
word.
Do you want to use?
Is it AI under democracy? I mean, democracy is like,
who would run the
public
company,
takeover
the
of
government or the people who own the companies?
I think that if you have a technology that is going to vastly change the nature of the economy, it's really important that you have democratic oversight of that technology. So if we call that a takeover, then we've had a takeover of a lot of different things, but I think democracy is a good thing. And AI is a scary new technology, while democracy is a very tried and true old technology.
Well, another litmus test then.
Democracy overseeing the way AI is being deployed.
Would you turn down money from AI companies, and do you think other Democrats should?
I turn down money from all companies. I don't
Have you turned down money from an AI company?
I've turned down money from every company.
Should Democrats turn down money from AI companies?
I think Democrats should turn down money from all companies, because you should not be bought by the people who have interests in making sure government works for them instead of working for everyday people. This is a simple thing.
So you got a race coming up August 4th. Are you going to spend more time back in state, or are you going to be out here talking more to the general voter?
Well, I'll be out here talking to folks, but I spend almost all my time in Michigan. But since I was here, I figured I'd come and talk to you.
I appreciate it, because you're an epidemiologist by trade, and y'all had a rough decade. I don't know any public health folks who have come out unscathed.
I would tell you, I think we as a country had a rough decade, and we were trying to fix it, address it. And, as an epidemiologist, I'm trained to understand problems as I see them and to try to solve them. So I hope that I can apply that in our politics as well.
Okay, Dr. Abdul El-Sayed, thank you so much for being here.